I'm filming right now on the Osmo Action 6, and when I picked up this camera, I also picked up the brand new macro lens because I thought this would be great for macro photography, for getting a little bit of that background separation when you're outside vlogging, and it just would be a good accessory for £140. But I'm going to be returning this macro lens today, and I thought I would just do a quick video to tell you my reasons why. So let's jump into it. Okay, so first of all, this video isn't to bash this product. It's a well-made, good lens if you are the specific customer that requires what this lens can do. And basically, the reason I'm returning it is because it doesn't fit with what I need to do. Now, let me explain. I've been using this lens for just over a week now, and I purchased this for two main reasons. One, I thought it would be really great at getting some good social media macro lens shots of products. As you know, we make keyboards here at Editor's Key, so I thought it'd be really cool to get those really close up macro lens shots through the keyboard so we could do some quite cool social adverts. So this is the macro mode on the Osmo Action 6. Now, as you can see, I can't get very close to these keys at all. Just put the backlight back on. So I can go right up close, it's out of focus. I have to come all the way back to about probably here until it's in focus. And that's, to me, not a macro. I thought I'd use the keyboard because obviously this is the product that we would be doing these kind of nice macro modes about. But I can fit the whole keyboard in there. You know, you all know how big a keyboard is. This isn't macro. This would be macro to me. And I was hoping we could get these kind of slide across shots like this, where we come across the keyboard and get these kind of really cool shots. And you know, that looks okay, doesn't it? Now, if we're on the iPhone, the macro lens is still in focus when you're this far away, which is handy. But watch this. I can get all the way in here so we can see the dots of the protective coating on each key. Look how crazy that is. I can do that same movement again, and we can get some really nice shots here of the keys. And at any point, I'm in focus. I can go as close as possible. I can't even get the phone any closer to the keyboard. But this is a true macro shot. I mean, look at that. You can even see the little hair there on the J key. And that's the first problem. So this is problem number one of a few problems. Number one, the problem with this macro lens is when you actually have this on the macro setting, the focus distance is 11 centimeters, which is roughly about kind of this distance. Now, that's not really macro. If you use an iPhone, you can actually get much closer to a product. If you're using a mirrorless camera, you can of course get true macro lenses that allow you to get really high detailed images of coins, of the veins within leaves and plants and things like that. And at 11 centimeters, yes, it's closer than what the built-in lens can do on the Osmo Action 6, but it's definitely not a macro lens. So it fails there. As you can see on these shots I'm putting over what I'm saying right now, you can see the difference even between an iPhone macro lens and the Osmo Action 6 macro lens. So at £140, I'm already starting to think, you know what, this is not the lens for me. Now, the second way you can use this lens is with the little person icon there. So what this was supposed to do was add a nice bit of background separation, so you get a little bit of depth of field, even with an action camera. And I thought that would be pretty great. I wasn't expecting a lot, but I thought even if it gives you a slight bit of background bokeh, it's going to make your shot look really nice. Now, the problem I have with this is that it's very hard to get the focusing distance right. Now, what I mean by that is when you set it to the person setting here, the focusing distance is about 76 centimeters away from the camera's lens. Now, that's very hard to judge. If you're walking around and you're holding a selfie stick like this, you can very easily go out of focus. And that was what I was finding. I was finding it so hard to get that distance exactly spot on, where I was nicely in focus and the background was out of focus. Okay, so now we have the macro lens on, and you should be able to see a little bit of background defocus. Now, I've purposely changed the angle of the studio, as you can see. So we do have quite a distance between me and the back wall, the plant there, and the side there. So what do you think of this? Now,
I do think it adds a nice little bit of background separation. I was quite surprised for a camera of this size, but it's not quite enough where I think the average viewer would notice. And obviously it comes down to your content as well, right? But the problem is this focusing distance. So I don't have a ruler right with me now. I actually have the Nemo app here so I can see. It's hard to tell if I'm in focus. Now, am I in focus right now? This is very, very close up. At arm's length, let me look, I would be normally about here. Now what I found, if I'm just out of this focus distance, I tend to go soft out of focus, and it's just very, very hard. I'll try and come slowly towards the camera and further back, and you'll probably notice at some point it will go out of focus, and I just found it extremely hard to gauge. Now, the background bokeh as well looks nice-ish. It's not a lot of it, but as I say, it's not incredible. Now, the other thing as well, is does add a little bit of bulk to your camera setup, and let me show you that. Now, of course, it's not too bad, but it will add a little bit of bulk to your camera. It adds quite a lot more weight to your camera, and you can't take it underwater as well. So whilst I think this is a good product for some people, for my use cases where I'm trying to get very close macro shots, it doesn't really work for me. Where I'm trying to vlog and talk and get the background bokeh, it doesn't really work for me. And then I use my action camera, my Osmo Action cameras, in the water a lot. I go kayaking, surfing, swimming, and I love taking this camera. It's one of the best holiday cameras that you can take because it's so easy to use. You can give it to anyone else who's not necessarily into cameras. They just press the button to record and you're good to go. Now, you can't take this underwater, unfortunately, with this lens on either. You know, you wouldn't expect to, but it's just something it means you're going to have to carry around with you, which just adds, again, that final piece for me where I'm just thinking, am I going to use this? You know, if I'm going to do macro shots, I'm going to use something else. If I want background defocus, I'm going to use my Pocket 3 or my other cameras. So am I actually ever going to take this lens with me? And I thought, no, I'm probably not. So that's why I'm sending it back today. Okay, I've just taken the lens back off. And one other thing as well, you can't use the open gate, which is the square profile. You have to use portrait or landscape. And the open gate is one of the main reasons I like the Action 6, and that's what I praised in my review that you can watch up here. So they're the reasons I'm returning this lens. This isn't to bash DJI by any means, but you know, we try and keep things honest. We're trying to help you on this channel if you're trying to become a filmmaker. And I just don't want people to maybe go out and spend a lot of money on this and be in the same situation as I am. Comment below, because you might be in a different situation. You may see this lens in a different light. Let me know. I would love to hear from you. Thanks for watching. And if you want to see our full Osmo Action 6 review, I'll put that up here. We're going to be doing a lot of videos on the Osmo Action 6, including the best settings for the camera, how to color grade this and use some really good cinematic LUTs. So if you want to see that video, click the link in or around this video. Check out the links around this video as well to our full playlists. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.